Hey there, it's Jay Soloff from Investors Alley, and this is our options trade of the week. Now we are looking at a trade. It is not one of the recommendations from any of my services. This is the trade for educational purposes only. So we are here at marketchameleon.com looking at the unusual options volume page. As always, I have sorted this page by volume to see where most of the most intense action is occurring. You can see here a couple ETFs, a couple meme stocks. We're going to go down the list a little bit here and look at First Solar, which has actually not been in the unusual list anytime in the last 12 days, at least not near the top. It is quite a large company, $10 billion, at least large for a solar company, largest solar company in the US. And you can see quite a bit of bullish action. Looks like 88% calls, which tends to be bullish here, about 6 times the normal amount of options traded. Stock was only up about 1%, but the action being so bullish, maybe there is some belief that the stock is going to continue going up. So we will take a look at the trades. And you can see not a ton, again, I've sorted the trades by quantity, not a ton of blocks here, but there is a relatively large trade of the 115 calls for March. So 6 months from now, roughly a little bit more, 7 months. And someone spent almost $5 on nearly 1,500 of these calls, so about 700,000. Almost no open interest, so this is an opening trade. So with the stock at 97, the 115 calls were purchased for about $5. That means it needs to go up to about 120 at expiration for these to make money. Of course, if it goes up quicker than that, they could cash out quickly. But who knows if that's the point or if this is more of a typically you see something this long term and there's probably a little bit more conviction behind it. So interesting to see. First Solar wasn't really doing much for a while here, and then recently has done quite well. You could see here it was in this 40 to 60 range for quite a while, and then more recently, really since probably since Biden took over, and there's been a lot more push for green energy, and solar in particular has been talked about as part of the infrastructure plan. You can see that First Solar has done quite well. It's nearly back here at 100. Of course, these were the 115 calls, which hasn't been there anytime over the last 3 years, but that could be a very bullish sign that the solar infrastructure is going to be built up in the U.S. Of course, First Solar is a domestic company, which helps its cause, particularly since there's been import restrictions on solar material from abroad. So this could be a play on just a domestic solar play or on a push for green energy. The company has been doing quite well. So it's kind of interesting to see this, and it very well could be a straight up bullish play on First Solar going up here. You can see all the way out to March, which is the second to last option chain that's even available. And here almost all the action there was in these 115 calls. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, I actually have a class coming up in a week. There should be a link on this page for it, Options Masterclass. It comes with subscription Options for Trader Pro, where we do calls and puts, but I will also have a 4-class session on learning to trade. So check it out if you're interested in this sort of thing, and I will see you again next week.